All right, it has been a week since Demigod was released, or at least released officially, and our first few days were spent transferring our legitimate customers onto a whole new set of servers in order to make it so that they could connect to other people, because the connectivity server that connects person A to person B just got overwhelmed. So then once that happened, we've moved into all the usual types of new game release stuff, as well as just continued problems where people in Europe can't connect to people in the United States. We've made a bunch of changes there, which we'll talk about. So let me just give you a quick tour around. So Carrie, what you doing?
I'm loading up our latest version of Demigod for testing.
All right, so what sort of things are we going to try to do here?
Well, we're going to try just basically the different kinds of multiplayer games, custom game, skirmish, Pantheon, and test for speed of connection. People making it into the lobby.
So one of the things I've seen online is people they go to a Pantheon game, right? They play and they end up where someone gets disconnected when they join. What is causing that in your opinion?
It could be that the in-game connection isn't created quickly enough once the socket's handed over from Impulse Reactor to the Demigod code, and it's closing itself.
Why didn't we have this in beta? I mean, what, people don't have any beta program? You just throw this out, you go buy your fancy cars?
A lot of stuff happens, comes out of the woodwork once you have, so many more users joining games and things like that. So, I mean, it puts a lot more stress on the system, which is not as possible when you have, a much smaller subset of computers, network cards, routers.
So our synthetic stress tests just were a little too synthetic?
Yes.
So right now, I understand Gas Powered Games, they're working on updating, they're fixing a problem on their end to make it a little more tolerant. A lot of this comes down to they're not, now correct me if I'm wrong, they're not so much bugs as much as tolerances, where we're playing on pretty decent machines, we have decent connections, and what's happening is when two people connect and one person has a crummy connection, it just doesn't give them enough time, and it says, oh, this guy has a bad connection, off they go.
Right. A lot of multiplayer issues come down to timing issues. And there's a lot of stuff that can slow things down, whether it's, just heavy network traffic, you've got something else running on the machine that's just slowing things down.
So what do you think is going to be a solution? How are we going to make this a better experience?
I think if we can make the tolerance a little bit better, and we can go through and check to make sure that everything is, as light on the server as possible, so that we're not, introducing lag, things like that.
Well, now I know you guys have been working on the CVP, these proxy servers. Now, how is that going to help?
The proxy servers will help in that if you fail the NAT negotiation for whatever reason, you just can't make a connection to the other player, then it will have you both connect to a server, and it will route your messages through that server. So it essentially just, you send the message to the server, and the server sends the message to the other player.
Oh, okay. And so from their perspective, they're no longer connecting directly to each other.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's talk to good old Jesse here. So Jesse, what is it you're working on?
Okay, I'm working on setting up a queuing system. This will help us to put our guys into the game a lot smoother, and
so basically, my understanding is, like, your thing mainly is going to be on custom games, right? A bunch of people try to join a custom game, and if they connect at exactly the same time, they have a zero ping to each other.
Right, because when they connect at the same time, then they don't really know about the other guy. So
right,
this system will fix that.
Okay, so what's your ETA on that? I want now.
Well, it's just about ready to start testing, so it will be pretty soon.
All right, good. Will it help if I stand over you and, like, I'll tell you what keys to hit. Are you ready? So, all right. Try print F. There you go. Faster. Can you type faster? There we go. All right. So, okay. And over here we have the Elemental team. If you turn over that way, you can actually see all the stuff we're working on with Elemental, because the Elemental team is largely up here, and they're working on all sorts of stuff. Don't show too much stuff, though. So, okay, we're going to go downstairs. Go ahead and, all right, we're going to go downstairs and see how things are going in the network area. Okay, we're going downstairs here. Don't look. So let's go bother our lead network engineer and see what he's up to. Knock, knock, Mr. Ford.
Oh, great.
Yes, we're videoing it all. So I'm coming down to find out the status on. So people who are now know what they're doing, playing. They know how to play Demigod, and so newbies, we wanted them to have bots in their game, so they have someone that's kind of like cannon fodder. But what about one of the things we've been wanting to do is, like, once they have experience, getting them so that they get into a 3-on-3 game and it's all humans, there's no bots. How's that coming along?
Well, as far as your guys' last test that you did, you were on the test database where some of the values are configured differently.
Oh, okay.
So I changed the database to match what's in production. So hopefully that will make it better, but I haven't gotten it in yet to go test.
So does that mean people right now who are playing the regular game, they're starting to play only against humans, you think?
I think so, because yesterday when I was trying to get into the tournament games, I did about 3 tournament games where I got matched 3-on-3.
And there were no bots?
And there were no bots. I didn't get into the game, but that's the match actually created.
Now what's keeping you from getting in the game? Are you connecting to everyone? Or what?
It seems like there's always somebody that's not connecting, and eventually the NAT says I've been disconnected.
Right. Yeah, so that's that poison pill issue of, you guys have, there's 6 people trying to get in, one guy, he's on. Now you did make a change that now people in Europe are tending to be connected to people in Europe, and people in the United States are tending to be connected in the United States.
Right. It's really North America versus North America, and then the rest of the world with each other.
Oh, okay. Boy, that sucks for them.
Yeah. Well, I have to tweak that some more, but I wanted to at least get the base part of it working.
Right.
So the next part would be,
because we found that Europeans are connecting to each other pretty well. It's just that when with that European with ADSL connects to an American with their cable modem, they're not able to see each other, and then they can't get into the game. So note to self: find people with ASDL or ADSL,
right,
to be in our future beta, so we can see what kinds of pain they're going to have. So what are you working right now on then?
Right now I was testing some post-game issues that we're having, post-completed game.
Is that the part with the negative favor points?
No, there's a crash that's occurring where the stats aren't getting calculated, and I'm trying to find that.
So when people play now, are their stats all getting recorded nicely?
Not all of them. Bars says it's random, so some of the games are being recorded and some aren't.
Do we know why?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out.
Because this is one of those things where it kills me, because in the beta we had tournaments and we even had top players, and it was all great, and now...
Yeah, this was something a bug that creeped in Friday. And we
got okay, so this is one of those, you release too many updates too quick, and you introduce your own pain sometimes.
Right, yeah. Really what it kind of had happened is that I had pushed all my updates, and then I finally said, okay, Bar, I'll take your updates, and then I had to do an emergency fix for something else.
Right.
And so his stuff got pushed without being tested properly.
Ah, I gotcha.
And we can't find it right now. So.
Right. Yeah, I was joking with Carrie that becoming a game publisher, we never thought we were going to become a full-blown ISP, player provider
yeah.
thing. Exactly. I thought, well, we'll put up a NAT thing to help people connect on this peer-to-peer game, and we call it a day. But this has been a lot more. How would you say?
It's been a learning experience.
Yeah, a lot more to it than I thought. Of course.
Yes.
Now, last week, you were in charge of having to set up a whole bunch of new servers, right? That's a little ash thing, because all the pirate users had basically killed our first set of servers.
Right, so we had to throw in like another half a dozen servers.
And where did we get these servers? We didn't have servers just sitting around, did we?
Well, actually we did, because we've been closing out our Chicago facilities, so when Chris had brought some back from there, we just reissued those, we rebuilt
so
them.
we did it, so this is a time of bad luck. We've had a little bit of good luck that we actually did happen to have a few more servers, because we're closing one of the data centers.
Correct.
So we put that up. That seems to be working well. Now, can you come over here and show like some of the monitoring servers, because I want people to see just what's involved here, because I was on a podcast and I said, well, you know, Demigod in some ways is like a cross between an MMO and a regular RTS, and the guy on there, I forgot who it was, might have been Bruce, said, no way, it's not. And it's like, oh no, you see these? These are all servers that have to be up in order for people to connect, and it's amazing just, you know, to set up. And a lot of it is because there are just so many people playing online. But to give you kind of a comparison, Sins of the Solar Empire would be 1. So there's our, if you want to know where a lot of our grief has come in, we had a few. We thought we were doing pretty well. Well, we'll have 5 times as much bandwidth and resources set up for this as we did for Sins of the Solar Empire. That should be fine, because what Sins is basically a process on one machine, right?
Yes. But it's doing a whole lot less work too, as far as it's not doing matchmaking and all that other stuff. It's just basically saying, okay, here's people in the lobby.
It's just custom games, basically.
Yeah, here's people in the lobby, pick from the lobby or whatever, and then record the stats when you're done. That's about it.
Well, I know our users and I know we all are all very excited to try to take care of all these things. I mean, Gas Powered Games is hoping to get us another update today, and just so many of the things comes down to timing. I mean, when you're getting into these peer-to-peer multiplayer where we all run, us and Gas Powered Games and our beta testers, the people who joined our beta, they had pretty good setups. They knew what they were doing. They're mostly in North America, and it worked pretty. Would you say it worked pretty well? Did you feel it worked pretty decently?
Yeah, definitely.
And but now you get all these people like, oh well, I'm running on I have a Linux router. And my Linux router is good enough to play World of Warcraft, and and all of a sudden on here it blows up. But they're not just blowing up themselves; they get in there and they can keep other people from connecting, and it's just
exactly. Because in the beta, I was playing all the time, and yeah, you'd have an occasional connection issue here and there, but for the most part, yeah, I was playing a lot of games.
Yeah, I know, I was too. I had my sons and I and some friends. We were playing 5-on-5 games. We were feeling pretty cocky at the time, so this whole thing's been quite an interesting experience.
Yep.
So, all right, well, we're going to keep walking around. So, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
We'll go talk to Ryan to see what's happening with GameStop. Let's see if Brian's here. Hey, Brian.
I'm here.
I have you on video. So what's happening with?
God.
I know. So what's? Oh, and you even got your Sins of Solar Empire shirt on.
Yes.
So what have you heard from GameStop? I just got off an interview with MSNBC, who wanted to know. They're doing a thing on GameStop, not just because of us, but I guess there's been a lot of stuff with GameStop.
Right.
Now, I told them that I thought that it was. They made a mistake, that they basically at corporate level just forgot or whatever to not set up a street date. What exactly is it that you heard about?
From what I've been told, they initially had a street date set, or they had the release date set in their system for the 9th of April.
Where did they get that number?
I don't know. I think it was a date we had given them last year, because I don't know where they got it from.
Okay.
But anyway, so they had April 9th in the system. The thing you have to remember is GameStop, the retail store, and GameStop.com do not use the same system. Generally, they do separate orders, I'm told. So what Take-Two told me is that they went in and they had GameStop.com update their stuff to the 14th as a street date.
Right.
Somehow, while doing that, they had unchecked that for the brick-and-mortar stores. How that happens, I don't know.
I see, but obviously it created quite a bit of a cascade issue.
It did create a cascade issue. What gets me upset is that we told them about this, it was supposedly corrected, and yet somehow wasn't. It still happened.
Right.
No one looked at the big yellow Sprite stickers.
And you used to run Avault.com.
Yes.
And I mean, you've seen the reviews. There's basically been a dividing line in the reviews. That first week when we were basically hosed because of of hundreds of thousands of people, going through being rejected because we do have validation. A lot of people seeing a lot of comments online saying, "Well, they don't even do validation." Yeah, we have validation. That's what brought down the machines. Is that you have 100,000 people trying to get in, and it was just sheer quantity. Now, so the reviews of the game that first week were just disastrous. Then now this week we haven't got anything less than a 4 out of 5. Now that things are calming down, but I mean, we're clearly still having problems where in Europe or in Russia they're having trouble connecting to people in the United States, or I mean they get online. It's a worldwide ecosystem. It's not like the good old days when you released a game. It's at retail in one country. They're playing with other people in one country.
Well, exactly.
And I see you're looking at. You have the chat area. We have a bunch of people in there.
I'll take some of that.
how matter? So most people seem to be talking about strategy at this point.
A lot of people are talking about strategy. There's still, the new user who's kind of upset. A lot of people are from Europe or Russia, and they're like, "Why can't I connect to anyone?"
Right. And they actually, I talked to Pat, and he put in a change that if you play Skirmish or Pantheon, it'll now try to put them in with other people from Europe.
That's good.
And that helps on a bunch of levels because they also have that ping time. Because I'll go online and I saw yesterday, this game sucks. It has, the lag time is crazy. Well, yeah, if you're in Russia and you're connected to a guy in Egypt,
right?
There's not a lot we can do. If you have a ping time of 800 milliseconds, that's almost a second for.
Well,
That's why the Skirmish and the Pantheon stuff's going to be important.
Ask yourself, if I'm playing World of Warcraft, and my ping time goes around 800 milliseconds or higher, which it has, it's a slideshow. I don't care what game you're in.
Right. Well, I think there's things we can do to make that better down the line, where we can put out, like one of the things I'd like to see is I want to be able to, if I have my buddies, right, I want us to be able to join a game as a group.
Yes.
Right. Me
Absolutely.
And you and Zumbo, who's hiding over behind Kristen here. We get in and we say we're playing as a group. Find me another group of 3 and get us in. I think now my impression is we could probably do that without requiring Gas-Powered Games to make any changes to their game. We could actually put that into Impulse, for example, and have it do all that and then launch the game with that group.
It sounds like we should be able to do that. That would actually be a very cool feature. I know something that others have mentioned that we've actually talked about previously is, we call them groups of friends, but you could even do clans in the same
Well, yeah.
thing.
What would be another cool thing I think we can do is, so I join a clan, right? And so when I go and I hit Skirmish or Pantheon, it'll find other people who are in my clan and it'll be so. There's a lot of really cool stuff that I think we can do. But obviously, for this first week, we just have to make sure. I want
get that facilitator.
I want to be getting that. Well, exactly. I personally, I think the proxy servers are going to be the way to go. I have bandwidth is cheap. Just get rid of the NAT and just let them all connect through us. I mean, when Customize gets a 3 million users a month or something like that. I mean,
3 million unique users.
Yeah, 3 million unique users a month, right? And they're downloading gigantic amounts of data. So, hosting all these games for the users. So you set up now my understanding is they've already got some servers up in Europe, and in Virginia, and in San Francisco, and they're going to set up one in Australia.
Perfect.
So. If they do that, then there shouldn't add anything to the or it should add very little to latency. Though, it's all on paper.
Actually, it might add a little bit to latency.
Well, it's always going to add. It's always another hop. So
I would think it would actually help in the long run, because if you're not connecting, way across the world, you're connecting to something more local.
Well, yeah, but they're still having to talk to the other user.
Sure, but on a much faster connection than the home user probably has.
Yeah, but that home user still has to connect to the server. They're both connecting to that same proxy server. So, I don't know. I mean, like I said, this is a little bit beyond our, when we were working on Elemental or with Synthos Empire. It was client server. Our guy who hosted the game took care of this. But So, Grin Reaper, do you want to say anything about how things are going on the network stuff since you...
I would like to... Can I exercise my privilege of not incriminating myself?
Well, you're not an American citizen, so you don't have the Fifth Amendment.
I think it still applies, you know. I pay my taxes. Do I have taxation without representation here?
Yeah.
Yes,
you do.
Oh, great. Well, then, yeah.
That's because England sucks, man. Oh, no. Please buy our game if you're in England.
Yeah. In a month's time, right? Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, we're working on it. I'm working with Carrie, and we've got Jesse on that as well.
How's it going with setting up these UDP? You're setting up UDP proxy servers.
Yeah, that's the plan. Basically, we get the proxy server. It talks with the facilitator. Facilitator says, "Okay, open up a server." The client who's trying to connect to another client then talks to the server rather than the client directly. And the server says, the reflector says, okay, I'm taking your stuff and I'm putting it to this client. And this client says, okay, well, I can accept stuff from the server, keep the server. You know, I'm talking to already. And so it works.
Well, as a gamer, I have to ask you people, what the hell? Why was this game not shipped? Were you guys just, greedy or something? What's the deal? Why didn't this...
smoked a lot of dope that week? I don't really remember.
Yeah, you have a video on that for that.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, because it just seems like, obviously we're not familiar with these network games, but
well,
is there a way that this should have been seen? Because I go online, and as a gamer, I used to be that guy. So this is karmic retribution. When a game came out and they had these multiplayer connectivity problems and stuff, I'd be like, didn't they see this coming? What, they rushed their release date. These guys, you know what? They're scum. They're scum. I'm going to set up a class action lawsuit. That's what. Well, I wasn't quite that bad, but here we are.
Yeah.
We're the publisher, but we're releasing a game and we're having these connectivity problems. Now, to be fair, the first 2 days after release, where we got pounded in reviews, that's a totally different experience than what people have now.
That was pretty bad. As you mentioned, the piracy on this title is pretty bad.
Hey, but I heard we're #1 on the torrents. We're #1. Woo!
That's pretty good.
Hooray.
That takes you long. I
guess we're very popular.
Now the thing is that only matters if those people would have bought copies. We're gonna keep our eye on the sales, but I still maintain that not putting copy protection on games. I don't want our customers to ever feel like they're being chumps for buying the game. And that's the thing about, if we had put out SecuROM or whatever on it, would have still, in your opinion, wouldn't have still got cracked?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So not what would, if we put DRM on the retail DVD, what would that have bought us?
I don't think it would have bought us anything. I don't think it would have cost us a lot more money because those copy protection schemes are not free.
Right.
But
so all it would have done is punish that would have only punished legitimate users. Yeah, I know. You want, and the funny thing is, the pirates, because we couldn't, the retail version, which is what got pirated, we can't stop supporting that, right? So you can go on Pound Demigod and you can see all these pirates right there in the channel.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they're saying because it's all acrylic.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to. I'm not saying that all pirates are Russian, but I am saying
we do have some legitimate customers from Russia.
Yes,
yes, they are. But there's all the Pound Demigod. It's all acrylic. I wish I could read it.
Certainly, last week before it was released in Russia, it was a pretty good bet that a lot of those users were not quite legit.
Right. We have undocumented users.
Undocumented users.
So how long, in your opinion, how long is it going to be before the people? So we know from the logs that it's working pretty decently for most people. I mean, if you're not one of those people, it sucks.
And the trouble is, we were those people. I mean, we've kind of got our networks into shape. We don't like playing with really restricted NAT, so we adjust our configuration.
Right, which makes it a lot harder to test because
we weren't in
it
that
works
situation.
for us.
But we are working on this. We've got Carrie upstairs tapping away.
But how long?
How long? Yes.
Tomorrow?
Yes.
How about this weekend? I want to be able to go on this weekend and wreak havoc.
I would like to say that people are probably going to have a good experience this weekend.
You think so?
I think so.
I will
really
hold
do
that.
think so.
I will
Yeah.
hold you to it if I can't play it.
You can hold me to it. And
Kill people.
Well, I know one of the things is that we're waiting on GPG to get us a couple updates. They're working on it because they've got that Pantheon problem. They've got that they're working on. They've got that issue where we've connected them and we've sent it off to the game and it just doesn't get in there.
Yeah,
they're working on that.
That's really irritating because you can see it's connected, except it's not. And then,
But it is connected. I mean,
But
the
it is.
say, but the lobby's
Yeah.
just not taking it. They're
Yeah.
working on that.
But they
So
don't
are we
need
going to get I don't know, a raspberry for the? We're the world's most meddling publisher in gaming history, right?
That's an interesting idea.
Users
Yeah,
seem
I
to
get
appreciate it.
Yeah, well, my view is people people don't care who's coding it. They only care they paid $40 and, if it's Stardock's fault or GPG's fault, it doesn't matter. And I can tell you, GPG's working really hard on their stuff. We're working hard on our stuff. But someone has to be out there to take a beating, and it should be me. At the end of the day, I could have learned a lot more about how many copies of these games get wares, and I happen to be one of those people that always thought these companies were just full of crap about. Oh yeah, we had 300,000 people connect. Don't name the game on tape, but we know there was a pretty well-known game that from a company that went out of business, and they claimed they had 300,000 people trying to connect per day. And I went, yeah, okay, believe them now. They believe them. But if I had just believed them, we would have had more servers up on day one, and then we would have, the people who in Europe who can't connect to the people in the United States, that would have been solved in a couple of days, and we'd be all happy. But
Well, next time we know better.
I will say the fun thing about this, the community is pretty awesome, and I mean it's really grown beyond the game because in the long run, in the next couple of weeks or whatever, this is going to be an annoying memory.
Yes.
But we know the game is really good, and people like the game clearly, and it'll be one of those things that they'll look back on, and maybe for the next time some MMO comes out or some game that has problems, there'll be a template of here's how you deal with it or whatever.
Yeah.
Don't let the publisher just walk away from it or whatever. Have the publisher and the developer work together on it and treat it as a mutual thing to solve. And I think that's the way this should be handled.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, that's it. So we'll see you soon online.